Tuchel is going to be the man of discussion today. Obviously, just joined Bayern Munich, and in my opinion, a fantastic manager. Today, we're going to be focusing on recreating his 3-4-3 inside of FM23, and trust me, this tactic is incredible. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and do turn on notifications. And also, I want to thank all new and existing Patreon members. You've got to see the names floating down the screen right now. It means an absolute ton that you guys are even willing to go that extra mile and support me. It does help out a lot. Obviously, you do get bonuses for doing it as well, but much love to everyone that does get involved. But let's go ahead and see exactly how good this tactic is. So, we're going to kick things off then with his current team. We're sort of doing it in reverse order now. Bayern Munich, the team he's now going to. Now, let me know in the comments right now, how do you think he's going to do in his first full season? Not the rest of this season, his first full season. But it went really well over here. Obviously, we won the Champions League, we won the Bundesliga, the Pokal, and also the Super Cup. Very convincing season. Obviously, absolutely dominated the Bundesliga, over a 20-point advantage over second place. They scored 104 goals and only conceded 13. So in terms of the actual statistics, we cannot complain at all. Going over to some of the league stats, it's simply domination. It really is. Most points per game, most goals, most shots for, fewest shots against, most possession, fewest conceded, and also most clean sheets. The thing with this three at the back system is how much of the ball we have. We had most possession, and also the pass completion was relatively good as well, sitting at around about 87%. So although it's a three at the back system, it's incredible how much possession we actually managed to maintain. In terms of the actual data hub going over Bayern Munich, it's absolutely incredible as well. We're talking over 3 goals per game, conceded sitting at only 0.38. Now I know we have got a very good back line, we've got a very good defense over at Bayern Munich. With most three at the back systems, you can always be vulnerable, but with this one, I never really felt being vulnerable. And you know what? We defended really well, and it just shows how well we done that based off this stat line. And scoring over 3 goals a game, it talks everything I need to explain about this tactic. It talks numbers. You cannot argue against the stats. What a season with Bayern Munich. And if stats aren't your thing, we're going to watch some of the goals. So hopefully you like some of the goals. This is going to be a 5-1 win in the Pokal final against RB Leipzig, a team which I've got a lot of love for. So a little bit disappointing, but Musiala gets the goal scoring rally off to a start inside of 49 minutes. So it was a bit of a breakthrough, to be fair. And we do take the lead again with a second goal. I say take the lead again, score a second goal. A little bit of dodgy defending there from RB Leipzig as the press just gets too much for him. Gnabry picks it up and drives it into the bottom right corner. Could the goalkeeper have done better? Possibly, but still a great bit of press. RB Leipzig do not go home empty-handed though. At least they get sort of a consolation in what was eventually a 5-1 thumping, as Danny Olmo sort of just blacklists the entire defence, goes through everyone and tucks it into the top right corner. A serious talent over in Germany. We do, however, bounce back relatively quickly as well, as Joshua Kimmich picks up the ball in midfield, takes a little bit of time to think what to do, into Musiala, the link-up play coming in, and it's going to be Gnabry, who did enjoy a fantastic season under this style of management, under a nice 3-4-3. We do love to see it. And we're going to go again here. It's going to be Leroy Sané picking up the ball over the top, into Kimmich, obviously always going to have some very attacking fullbacks in this. Great ball into the box, and Sadio Mane tucks it home. A player again, which in my opinion is a massive loss to Liverpool. Blin into Mane, into Gnabry, touches it down. An elegant bit of skill there. Absolutely bodies a defender in no man's land, and that is going to seal out a comfortable cup final. And we're now going to go over to one of his former teams. That is going to be Borussia Dortmund. And still, it was a very good season. We didn't win as many trophies as what we did with Bayern, but it was interesting to see exactly, obviously, what Dortmund can do compared to Bayern. We did, however, win the league, which is really impressive. Not the best display in the Champions League or the Pokal, but the main sort of trophy we were going for was to at least be competitive in the Bundesliga. And we were definitely more than competitive because we won the entire division. As mentioned, we scored 85 goals and only conceded 23. And in terms of the data hub, we are going to go and have a little look as well. As you can see right now, we're looking at 2.5 goals per game, so a little bit less than what we were seeing obviously over at Bayern, but it is to be expected. We don't have as good of players, as good of a standard of team, but still decent enough to score over 2.5 goals. The defensive side of the game was still relatively good as well, sitting at 0.68, which is way under a goal a game, which is pretty much the rule of this channel. I'm only really fully satisfied if we are conceding under a goal a game, because in my opinion, that's where you're really comfortable. And in terms of the league stats, of course, we're going to go and have a little look. Why not? As you can see here, we're looking at most points per game, most goals, fewest shots against, and also the most shots for. And we don't go home just with them awards. We also go home with most clean sheets and also fewest conceded. A little bit less possession, but still a decent amount for this system. 56% comes in, and the pass completion at 86%. So 1% less than what we obviously achieved with Bayern Munich. So, and to finish things off, we are going to test with Chelsea. This is the team I think about when I think of Tuchel. I'm pretty sure a lot of Chelsea fans still enjoy Tuchel. They still like him, and I can see why. He won you a Champions League at the end of the day. But you know what? We had a fantastic season here. We dominated the Premier League, obviously a 15-point gap between first and second. We scored 108 goals and only conceded 31, ranking us the best and the second best in those categories. And if that isn't enough for you guys, we also won the Champions League against PSG and also the FA Cup. So a treble winning season is absolutely incredible in my opinion. And do you know what? I'm pretty sure Chelsea fans would definitely take this at the moment. And going over to some of the league stats over in England, we're going to be seeing most points per game, most goals again, most shots for, fewest shots against, and also the most clean sheets. In terms of possession, again, 56%. I'd say that's pretty much the average we're looking at right now. And pass completion at 86%. So we're seeing a very familiar pattern with both of those two stat lines. In terms of the actual data hub, we love to have a look at this. 2.84 goals per game and conceded at 0.82. So I believe this is the highest we've conceded, but we are in the toughest division that we've obviously tested in, and it's still way under a goal a game. So I'm more than happy to release this for you guys to try. Obviously, I never release any tactics, so I'm not 100% happy to use myself. That is my go-to rule. So please let me know how you get on with this tactic. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of Chelsea fans and new Bayern Munich fans that do roll with this tactic, because Tuchel is a great guy. We love Thomas Tuchel. And you know what? This tactic was a ton of fun to make, and the stats are really, really impressive. So hopefully it works as good for you, and please let me know all of your success in the comments. But overall, 3 fantastic seasons from 3 very different teams. That leaves us with one more thing to do. Can you guess what we've got to do? Well, I'm pretty sure you would have guessed, but if you guys are enjoying the tactic video so far, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And if you do enjoy myself as a creator, please do come out and check my Twitch. It's going to be on the screen, in the description, and also a pinned comment. It would really mean a lot, and I hope to see you guys there. But let's talk about this tactic. So we're going to kick things off then with the first variant of the tactic. That is going to be Tuchel's Bayern. Now, it is going to be the 3-4-3. Obviously, you're 3, you're 4, and then you're 3. Fairly basic. And we're going to kick things off then with the team instructions. So it's going to be an attacker mentality. In possession, you want fairly narrow, pass into space, play out of defense, shorter pass and directness, higher tempo, work ball into the box alongside of mixed crosses. In transition, you want counter press, counter, distribute to the fullbacks and the centre backs. Although the fullbacks are very pushed up, they will sort of drop deeper to collect the ball from the keeper. So that is my one bit of advice there. And for that, take short goal kicks. Out of possession, you want a high defensive line, a Thomas Tuchel staple, high press line of engagement much more often, and also prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Again, if you do feel like you're conceding a bit too many, you can drop this line, but it would sort of ruin how this tactic performs in my opinion. Going over to the player roles then, we want a sweeper keeper on the default instructions, a nice sweeper keeper on support. We have 2 wide centre backs. The one on the right is simply nice and basic on defend, cross from deep, the default instructions. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. And then in the middle, we have a ball-playing defender. For some reason, you can't play a ball-playing defender here, so you haven't got a player that can do it. You could play a central defender. It would work completely fine, but it just helped me out. I thought the tactic performed a lot better, having one sort of more expressive centre-backs. And that is going to be on Dribble more. Next to him, we've got a wide centre-back on default instructions again. So to clarify, that is exactly the same as the right-sided one. Going over to the full-backs, on the left-hand side, we've got a wing-back on attack, aim the crosses at the centre, and also dribble more. And on the right-hand side, it's exactly the same. So both the same on wide centre-backs and also the full-backs. Nice and simple, easy to keep up with, as we love to do on this channel. Going over to the midfield, we've got a centre-mid on support, on roam from position, move into channels, and also ease off tackles. And next to him, we've got a box-to-box on support, on move into channels, and tackle harder. Now, you could play about with this role. You could get over on a Roman playmaker, for example. But if I had to sort of sum up what I believe Tuchel would rock, it would be a box-to-box and a centre-mid, in my opinion. Going forwards then, we've got an inside forward on the left, on support, on roam from position, and sit narrower. And on the right-hand side, we've got get further forwards, roam from position, and also sit narrower. That is going to be an inverted winger, by the way. Support. And to finish things off, we've got the advanced forward on attack, on tackle harder. A very aggressive sort of intense striker role. And trust me, this striker's going to get a ton of goals, an absolute ton of goals. But that is going to be the original tactic. That is the one that's been tested with, and that's the one that you guys can download from FM Scout. Now, if you are a Patreon member or a Twitch sub, you can download these next two as well, which is an attacking variant and a defending variant. But don't worry, you're not forced to sign up to anything. You can copy these and obviously apply them manually. So do stick around to see the defensive variant and an attacking variant. I would especially stick around for this one because sometimes you need advice on how to defend with a system like this because it is quite attacking. But let's start off things with the attacking variant, which is going to be if you are chasing the game, you're desperate for a goal, etc, etc. Now, you are quite limited in some aspects because it's already naturally quite an attacking system. So in terms of the player roles, all we've done is obviously we've made both of these players here. We've actually gone from, as you can see, this one's going to be an inverted winger and an inside forward. On this variant, we've got two inverted wingers on the right and the left. You can see their instructions right here. We've also positioned the centre mid on attack. We've kept the fullbacks exactly as they are because they are attacking anyway. But the central midfielder is now going to be on attack. This one switches to an inverted winger on attack. And obviously, this one also goes to attack as well. In terms of the mentality, it's actually going to be set to attacking again. In possession, what we're going to be seeing is the be more expressive gets selected because this way a little bit more creative freedom is displayed. In transition, as you can see, what I would go with this. I personally haven't. Can have distribute quickly on, but that can sometimes cause errors in terms of a goalkeeper making some rash decisions. So I personally got it ticked off. Out of possession, we've still got the higher defensive line. I did test a much higher line, but it was way too vulnerable at the back. So that is going to be the attacking variant of the Tuchel system. But to refresh your memory, this is going to be the default one, because we're now going to talk about the defensive variant. And there are a couple of changes. So the main one is obviously going to be the mentality drops. As you can see, we're going to go back to the default sort of system. The only thing that changes here is the wing backs obviously do drop to a supportive role, still on get the crosses at the centre and dribble more, exactly the same with the left back as well. We add a ball-winning midfielder on defend into the mix on default instructions, and we obviously drop back the attacking wingers to their supportive roles, an inside forward and also the inverted winger. In terms of the team instructions, we've got a positive mentality. In possession, we've got fairly narrow pass into space, play out of defence, shorter pass and directness, still kept the higher tempo. We've added in some of the time wasting, and we've still remained with work ball into the box. In transition, we're going to actually tick off this and go with a nice default option. We've still got the counter press on. We have, however, now got slow pace down because this is a perfect tactic if you're sealing the game out and you want to be a little bit more cautious. We've still kept the distribute to the centre backs and the full backs, and out of possession, we've dropped the defensive line to standard and kept the high press line of engagement, and the press remains the same. But that is going to be Thomas Tuchel's 3-4-3 broken down across many variants. Obviously, the attacking and defensive variant is something that I personally like to do for you guys, but this is going to be his exact system, and hopefully one which you guys do enjoy to use. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please do show some love by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and please do turn on notifications as well. It would mean a lot. It means an absolute ton. And you know what? The support on the last video was absolutely mental. So much love for that one, and I will see you boys in the next upload. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll see you there.